welcome to the Sidelines PH podcast where we talk anything and everything about sports. My name is Emar Villar and I will be your host. Season 1, let's get.
All right, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Sidelines PH. And we're very lucky to have our guest for tonight. He is a martial arts coach. He is a businessman. He's also a podcaster. The name of the podcast is Coach Franco Says. And he's a martial arts practitioner. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our guest, Mr. Franco Rulloda. Woo!
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up?
What's up, man? What's up? Kamusta?
I'm good, bro. Di ko na talaga alam what are we gonna do with the quarantine life. I mean, there's so many things. And like prior to starting, we're having a discussion, and then we're like everyone's still. I think the main idea now is how do we go from here? How do we move forward?
Yes.
And how do people adjust to what is happening now?
Mm-hmm.
And then what are the steps that they need to do in order to like put all of this behind us?
Yeah.
Kasi there's so many. The number one thing that we're all facing right now is uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things na hindi natin alam kung anong gagawin. I mean, some people even discuss or post na is it even safe to go out? Diba? That's the amount. That's the mental, the moral, and the physical dilemma that's taking its toll on people right now.
Humans have been beating plagues for
Yes.
numerous times na. So,
Yes.
human resiliency talaga, you can really count on it. It's just a matter of positivity, knowing na, we can beat this. Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah. So, actually, yung maganda dito, yung nasasabi mo kasi is you really need to boost your immune system, tama? And part of it is regular exercise or take up a sport or just be active, no?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, sabi mo nga your teammates, all of your students were really not
Yeah.
'di ba? Hindi sila naapektuhan nito.
Wala.
Okay.
Wala.
Okay. That's nice. How did you come up with this or how did you start with this healthy lifestyle, or how did you start being a mixed martial artist?
I was born into a very active family.
Uh-huh.
So, majority like our family line, yung lahi namin, we're just very athletic, and we like to move around, we like to play around. So, ano lang yun. So, sige, let's not put it in a very, sige, not in the athletic sense, pero everyone's active. Yun na lang, everyone's active in our family.
Okay.
And then from there, I was born into a family na like my parents, and they live the active lifestyle. And then my dad was an athlete, and then he was so into sports. Okay? A huge chunk of the sports influence on our family is brought about by my dad.
Okay.
So yun yung pinaka naging foundation for everything.
Okay.
As in his love and interest in sports in general, like paved the way for everything that we're doing right now. So he was a power lifter. He was a national athlete. He was a power lifter. So when I tell people lumaki ako sa gym, like literal lumaki ako sa gym. As in lumaki talaga ako sa gym. As in like playground ko yung gym. So I would go with so pagka kailangan mag-ensayo ng tatay ko, I'd be there. Or hindi pa sikat yung powerlifting noon. Meron ng tournament sa powerlifting noon. And then just like any other kid, I was so into basketball and other sports. So during my high school and college years, I mean elementary, high school years, I played different sports. I was into basketball, I did volleyball, swimming, football. Yan. So kung ano pang just like any other active kid would do. And then college, I was fortunate enough to be part of the training team ng college ko.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to DLSU, and then yung training pool for Team B, I was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that
For basketball to?
for basketball,
Okay.
so I nag-improve yung, doon ko nakita yung higher level of training. And then, like, the first martial arts na natutunan ko talaga was boxing. I learned boxing at 7 years old.
Okay.
And then, syempre, tigil-tigil yan. On, off, on, off, on, off yan. And then I just had more time to practice martial arts after, like, ano ba? Yeah, after college na. After
Mm-hmm.
college ko na siya natuloy uli. And
Yeah.
then, as fate would have it, I met this guy. His name is Alvin Aguilar. He was the head and the founder of DefTac Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So DefTac means Defense and Tactics Center. And then that chance meeting just changed my entire outlook on the Philippine martial arts scene,
Mm-hmm.
martial arts in general, combat sports. And then I had the pleasure of training with amazing people who are now considered like the living legends of the martial arts scene here in the Philippines. And then from there, tuloy-tuloy na. I basically trained. Uh, I trained, competed. I mean, fought in boxing, in Muay Thai, kickboxing,
Mm-hmm.
in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu, and in MMA. Yeah. So from for a huge chunk of my young adult life was centered on training different martial arts and then competing in them.
Mm-hmm.
So now, years after, ayun, it led me to, like, coaching fell on my lap. So it just happened. So now, yun yung buhay ko ngayon. Now on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, I mean, a huge chunk of that as well was after graduation, I had a day job.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for corporate, and my routine, my life. So this was probably from 2006 or 7 hanggang mga 2019. Tama,
Okay.
2019.
13 years.
My life was, yeah, tama. Tagal ako sa ano, that was my first job eh. My life was centered on going to work, training afterwards, joining tournaments. And so when you say joining tournaments, you basically fought.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then nung when I started handling classes and teaching people, nadagdag na rin yon. So ngayon, dagdag na. You work, you train, you teach, and then you fight. So yun. That was my routine for a vast majority of my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anytime in between that I could sneak in vacation, I'd probably do it. More often than not, my vacations were working vacations. Kasi for example, we have provincial chapters. I'm gonna do a seminar there, so
Okay.
isasabay ko na lang yung bakasyon doon. So
Mm-hmm.
parang ganun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and then another one, I'd compete in a different country. O sasabay ko na rin yung bakasyon doon. So ganun yung lifestyle. That was my life, and
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't change anything about it. It
Mm-hmm.
molded me into the person who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the knowledge and the experiences that I had or I did uh, is helping me guide future generations now.
Mm-hmm.
Yun yung okay dun.
What made you decide to resign 2019?
I just reached a point wherein I wasn't happy anymore.
Okay.
I had no problems with the people I was working with.
Yeah.
They're amazing people. Yung mga ka-department ko, they're amazing people. I learned a lot from them. It's just that, syempre, as with any corporate structure, it has its good and its bad. And I have reached a point wherein I had to ask myself na parang, is this worth it
With
na?
it, yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Is it still worth it? Is it still worth it? Do I honestly tell myself, is this worth it? When I had to when I asked myself, I had to answer honestly. The answer was no.
Mm-hmm.
So yun, I talked to people close to me, and they said na parang, okay, if this it's not making you happy anymore, then don't
Yeah.
do it. So yun. Kaya ako, when I tell this story, I'm gonna tell everyone who's gonna listen to and watch this, have a plan. Okay? Have a plan,
Yeah.
please.
Yes.
Don't do
Yes.
it the way
Yes.
I did. Ako kasi, December, nag-decide ako, parang ayoko na nito ah.
Oh, just this
Nag-resign.
December. December 2019 ka lang nag-resign.
Hindi. December 2018. So
18.
January
Okay.
2019 wala na.
Okay.
Nag-aayos na ako, nagtatapos na ako noon, magki-clearance na ako noon.
Okay. Okay.
The
Okay.
main reinforcement why I did that was because I just told myself I'm not getting any younger, and wala, there's so many other things that I shelved or I put on hold because I had to fit the schedule and within the structure of my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I just it's just about having a conversation with myself and finally deciding, okay, for 2019, let's dedicate this year for me.
Mm-hmm.
Parang let's see where this goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret that decision kasi I think the main reason why I was so apprehensive about doing it was because I was afraid. I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid of probably failing. I was afraid of not making it, or later on, after a few months, I'll tell myself, "Now, why did I make that decision? Parang
Mm-hmm.
it was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Why did you let go of something that was that was a constant thing?"
Yeah.
Pero yun din, diving into uncertain things, and I mean that whole cliche na you'll never know what's on the other side unless you
Yeah.
jump, diba?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
ayun, so I did it, and I mean 2019 when it ended, like like Reese is Reese is my wife, and then she said, "You know what? If you look back, you did more in a year than you did in the past 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You did more in a year in compared to the last 12 years." Kasi after that, I got contracted to do some consulting work in Singapore, so I did that. Pagbalik ko dito, I had more time to practice and do my writing, so I became, believe it or not, naging travel writer ako.
Wow, talaga.
Oh, travel writer ako. I also, kasi I love to travel and I love food.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are the two vices in my life. So yeah, so might as well, di ba? Whatever it is that I can contribute to that community. I mean, from someone who's been deeply following the travel community and the eating community, the food industry or the food community, all of a sudden I was able to do projects with them.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, not in my wildest dreams have I ever really thought. Kasi I used to write articles for other people, or I
Mm-hmm.
would proofread and proofread, tas i-edit ko, or
Mm-hmm.
parang for example, may write-up sila, papa-edit nila or papaayos nila sa akin.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to food. Especially
Uh-uh.
when marami sila food nun. So, I'll do that. And then all of a sudden, the opportunity came to work with Discover MNL. And
Mm-hmm.
then again, it was another opportunity to learn from them. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, these people are pros. They're really
Mm-hmm.
good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing people. So I was able to do work with them, and alam mo yun, I learned a lot, but at the same time, I was able to exercise that that knowledge. I was
Mm-hmm.
able to exercise that talent, and I'm very happy that they liked the work that I did for them. So ayun.
But everything
And
just
then
fell into place, no?
oh, and it's weird because I never expected it.
Yeah.
Super did not expect it. So ayun, and I mean I'll always give them credit for it kasi they just took a chance on me. Diba?
Yeah.
Who's this guy na parang if you look at his social media or the stuff that he puts online, it's like puro martial arts, puro fitness, puro, diba? And then who would have thought this guy could write? So, so ayun, they took a chance on me. I'm very happy and very grateful for them.
Nice. Nice.
And I like the fact that a lot of people received it in a very positive way. Sabi
Mm-hmm.
na, alam mo yun? And that is, it's not really validation, pero I was just happy that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, ayun, then what else did I do? Then lahat ng may utang akong seminars, ginawa ko siya. So when I say seminars, these are like jiu-jitsu seminars.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
So I did a lot of jiu-jitsu seminars, and then I also did um so DefTech Philippines is a organization that specializes in self-defense, self-protection, and the sport aspect of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the striking arts, and the grappling arts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very big team that is deeply rooted in Philippine martial arts history.
Okay.
Now I was part of the batch that learned the sport aspect, the combat aspect, and the self-defense aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So another thing that I was able to do for that year was I had more time to kumbaga broaden my spectrum and do more self-defense and self-protection seminars. So I was able to, yeah, do self-defense seminars in schools, do self-defense seminars in offices,
Mhm.
provide self-protection and tawag ito, combat training for either armed personnel, private security, or law enforcement
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
Man, so it allowed me to be with different spectrums of people in the social classes, and then
Mhm.
at the same time, ang pinaka-advocacy ko when I do these things is to provide people with the right information.
Mhm. Mhm.
Diba? Kasi a lot of people can just YouTube stuff, yes, pero a lot of the things that you see on YouTube are BS. They're
Mhm.
not gonna
Mhm.
happen in real life.
Mhm.
Diba? That's why inisip ko na the resource people that I have, the amount of training and the level of training that I went through is very crucial for survival.
Mhm.
So this is part of DefTac Philippines, DefTac's advocacy as well.
Mhm.
We've been doing this for so many years.
Mhm. Mhm.
Na we keep partnering with local communities, with offices, with law enforcement, and provide them with the right training tools and the right information so that they're more equipped.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi ang pinaka distinguishing factor with our program, and I'm very proud of it, paglalaban ko yan, pagyayabang ko yan sa buong mundo, or
Sige,
at
go
least sa
lang.
buong Pilipinas, is the information that we have is derived from real data. Di ba? So the techniques, the information, they're all derived from real data and real experiences of people.
Okay,
So if
okay.
you so ibig sabihin the transfer of knowledge for realistic purposes.
Mhm.
So it's supposed so everything that we teach people in the seminars and the classes that we conduct are sure to parang ano siya mas alam mong mangyayari siya kasi based siya sa mga nangyari sa
Nangyari
ibang
na.
tao,
Ah, okay.
'di
Gets,
ba?
gets, gets.
So and then more than anything, the structure of the classes or the seminars or whatever you want to call it is very much different from what you see online or offered by excuse
Mhm.
me offered by other people kasi
Yeah.
nga mas ano siya um it's as real as it gets.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
It's as real as it gets. So ayun, so a lot of it I was able to do that again for a huge chunk of 2019, and yun nga by I mean took my when we did a year-end vacation with my family, parang sabi nga niya, di mo ba napapansin? Parang you did more in one
Mhm.
year, di ba? And felt fulfilling. It was good. It made me feel like I made the right decision.
Mhm. Mhm.
Kasi at the end of the day, di ba? You can always get a job. Di ba? You
True,
can always
true.
get a job. Pero I mean, I did this thing. I did all of these things kasi I don't know. It made me happy. It made me feel alive.
Mm.
Um, corny na so kung corny, pero I enjoyed the process of providing value to other people,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
especially when I focused more on teaching and handling classes.
Yeah.
It was a very transformative thing for me as well. When and I'm very open with this sa mga to my students and my teammates na parang I appreciate the feedback na you tell me that you learn a lot from me,
Mhm.
but you have no idea of how much I learned from you as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ganun siya. So I had a better appreciation of human connection. I had a
Yeah.
better appreciation of human diversity and
Mhm.
human emotions when I started doing this last year. And
Yeah.
then
Oh.
COVID happened. So now it's
Syempre.
another so di ba? Yeah, so now it's another set of challenges that we have to
Yeah.
face. It's
Correct.
another alam mo yan, these are new adjustments. May bago na namang kailangang ayusin.
Yeah.
May kailangan namang bagong adjustments. And I mean, it's a daily grind. It's a daily grind.
Yes.
Kami rin naman, us coaches, not just me, for us coaches in our team, we just we have conversations amongst ourselves and just say na parang, okay, our goal now is to keep people focused, keep people healthy, make sure that they don't get depressed or they don't get anxious.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of my fellow coaches. I'm very proud of
Mm.
the community that we've built,
Mhm.
and it's keeping everyone sane, keeping
Yeah.
everyone happy, keeping alam mo yun, you watch. I'd rather go on my phone to chat with my teammates than watch the news. Yun yung ano, kasi it's ano eh, it's all good vibes eh.
Yeah. Iba rin
Mm.
kasi yung satisfaction siguro na nabibigay na you were able to do something na very personal level eh, yung connection.
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
what they learned is something that they can really use. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Ibang but it's a life skill eh. Kaya
Yep.
iba rin talaga siguro yung
Yes.
dating pag ganyan.
Mhm.
So actually medyo same rin tayo pero hindi ako sa sporting side. I'm more of in the art side. So like
Mhm.
you, I was also in a corporate setting and then
Mhm.
I resigned to pursue
Mhm.
my passion for photography and ayun, ang ganda kasi like when you see a couple change their profile photos with your
To your
photo.
photo.
'Di ba?
Oo,
Iba
di
eh,
ba?
iba eh. At saka alam mo yung
Oo.
pinakamasarap is when Mother's Day or Father's Day comes and
Mhm.
your photo is the one that they post. Parang sabi ko,
Oo,
iba
di
yung
ba?
iba eh.
That's you. That's you.
Yes, correct,
Di ba?
correct.
That's you.
Yes. Kaya I could really understand where you're coming from in terms of that
Mm.
one.
'Di ba?
Sige.
Iba yung,
Oh,
'di ba? You cannot quantify that eh. 'Di ba?
yes, yes,
You can never
exactly.
quantify those things. 'Di ba? And
Exactly.
it's something na, for example, ikaw sa photography, you'll take a photo now, pero you'll never know na mapopost siya some other day. Di
Yes.
ba? Di magugulat ka na lang, tinatabi pala niya yung photo na yon
Yes.
kasi gagamitin niya sa birthday greeting,
Yes.
gagamitin niya sa Mother's Day, gagamitin niya sa anniversary post niya. And you were part of that. You were
Yes.
part of that process. You were part of that emotional attachment. Di ba?
Exactly.
Yun na yun eh.
And
Di ba? So,
there were times that that photograph that I took, that was the last time I took a photograph for that person kasi
mm,
either yun, they became sick, then they died. So
mm.
iba pa rin parang basta iba yung personal
May
connection at
emotion,
saka
oh, yung
satisfaction.
personal
Yeah.
connection. Yes, that is
Yes.
true. That is
Yes.
true, bro.
Yun, napunta tayo sa sa photography. Sports to, sports.
Okay lang yan.
Okay lang, okay lang. Sige,
Okay lang yan. Marami
sabi
namang
mo,
photographer friends eh.
well, you competed in different events. Diba? Ang dami, ang
Uh-huh.
dami.
Yep.
How can you compare your competition days to what MMA is now? Like,
Okay.
what's the landscape
Uh,
right now?
one thing that I advocate and I want to improve is the evolution of the jiu-jitsu and the MMA community. So
Okay.
magkaiba yan magkaiba si jiu-jitsu community, magkaiba yung MMA community, pero since they're very close,
Yeah.
eh, para silang magkapatid na magkaiba yung tinahak na career. Okay, so
Mm-hmm,
mag-ano sila, I don't know, that was probably a stupid analogy. Pero yun, they're two different things but they overlap.
okay,
Ayun, I think
okay.
that sounds
Okay,
better. I think
yes,
that
yes,
sounds better.
yes.
So, one thing now that I'm doing is doing my best to contribute to the jiu-jitsu community and the MMA community. Of course, I'm very happy with the progression of both sports in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Pero yun pa rin. In terms of MMA, believe it or not, MMA is still in its infancy here in the Philippines.
O kahit na gano'n nakatagal yung MMA dito?
Kahit gano'n na katagal. Kasi
Oh,
nga,
okay.
kasi ito yun eh. That's why this is probably another unpopular opinion. For me, MMA is not a program.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, MMA is not a curriculum. It is
Okay,
a program.
okay,
Okay?
okay.
Kaya when I see gyms that say they offer MMA classes, medyo napapakringe ako doon kasi ito yun eh. So for those who are this for the noobs who don't know what MMA is, when you say mixed martial arts, it's a combination of at least two to three disciplines, or
Mm-hmm,
probably more.
mm-hmm.
And then let's cut it to two main divisions: your
Okay.
striking component and your grappling component.
Okay.
So your striking component is your stand-up.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your stand-up. These are the things and the tools that you will use when you're standing up. Now, the grappling component comes when you end up in the ground.
Yes.
So a very good mixed martial arts fighter has to be proficient in both
Both. Gets.
categories, okay,
Gets. Gets.
or in both sections. You cannot do that in a class. Kasi, how will you structure your class? Monday striking tayo, Tuesday grappling, Wednesday striking tayo, Thursday. Sige, gawin mo siyang ganun.
Mm-hmm.
How will you monitor your students' development?
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Ito lang yun eh. They're gonna be 50% good in striking and 50% good in grappling. You put them inside the cage or inside the ring, they're gonna fight someone who trains or who is more proficient than them. Magugulpi sila.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Diba? Or sabihin na natin as a training program, ano na lang siya, parang pang ano na lang, pang exercise na lang.
Oo. Oo.
Diba? Pero
Oo.
ito lang din yun eh. At the end of the day, coach kasi ako. I'm very passionate about coaching.
Yeah.
If you're gonna teach something at 50% and you're gonna teach another thing at 50%, you're gonna get a 50% student.
Okay. Okay.
Diba? Versus you make your students train in striking and in grappling
Mm-hmm.
on two separate occasions. Diba? So parang, sige, habang nag-jiu-jitsu ka, mag-boxing ka din. Diba? Do it
Mm-hmm.
at your own pace. And for me rin naman kasi, ang MMA training para sa MMA fighter.
Okay. Okay.
Diba? Kaya ka magte-train ng MMA kasi gusto
So,
mong lumaban ng MMA.
okay. Okay.
Diba?
Okay.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's probably a bad marketing thing, pero for you to say na may MMA program kami, so ano to, para ano ka, may feel good moment ka na, may pa-feel good moment ka na MMA fighter ka, or do you think this whole training is what MMA fighters are doing? I don't know. I'm probably still a purist when it comes to martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Pero para sa akin talaga, you want to learn MMA, real MMA is training different martial arts in their entirety.
Okay. Okay.
Diba? So, and then, ito lang naman yun eh. You learn boxing, you learn Muay Thai, you learn wrestling, you learn judo, you learn jiu-jitsu, and then you bring them all together. That's MMA. That's mixed
Mm.
martial arts.
I
Now,
see.
the reason why I say that, again, people will have a different opinion. But for me, why do I still consider MMA as being in its infancy stage in the Philippines is because we don't have full-fledged MMA fighters.
We don't. We don't.
We don't. Believe it or not, MMA fighters in the Philippines have day jobs.
Oh. Okay.
Wala pa tayong MMA fighters na MMA lang ang ginagawa.
I see. I see.
'Di ba?
Okay.
So hindi pa siya it is not yet a viable career.
Okay.
Unlike
Okay.
when you go to other countries now when they say they're MMA fighters, they train and then what else do they do? They teach in the gym or they teach class in a particular school or 'di ba? It's something that is sustainable kumbaga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yun kasi
Mm-hmm.
yung standard ko eh. That's my standard. Na if we want to have an MMA fighter who is going to compete at the highest level, kailangan ng concentration niya yung training.
Yeah.
Diba? Yun ang priority number one is to
Mm-hmm.
train. And at the same time, you have to have an organization that is constant, that is paying you money to live that sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far, So far, ano pa lang, saan ba sustainable yan? Like sa Amerika, di ba? And even in the States, hindi pa siya ganun ka-sustainable kasi hindi pa rin talaga ganun ka-viable. So, pero compared to the Philippines, mas maraming MMA fighters sa ibang bansa na kayang gawin na yun yung buhay nila. Yes? Kasi dito, nagtuturo na lumalaban ng MMA pero may office job.
Okay. Wow, talaga?
So, medyo like for example, my teammate, he's a 2 division champion in the URCC, si Chris Hoffman, when he was here.
Okay.
When he was here, he was a 2 division champion in the URCC. Knockout power, still raw talent.
Yeah.
Pero may corporate job siya.
Oh, okay, okay.
Diba? So, and even like for now, the most popular team in probably Southeast Asia or probably Southeast Asia or Asian region, si Team Lakay.
Oh,
Team
yeah, Team
Lakay,
Lakay.
the people in those
Baguio.
people are professionals.
Mhm, mhm.
They're architects, they're office people. They,
Talaga.
oh, these people have jobs. And dun mo lang makikita that they're just really passionate about martial arts. They're
Mm.
just really passionate about fighting.
Yeah.
They just love to fight.
Mhm.
Na they're juggling work and life,
Yeah.
'di ba? So I mean, these are amazing people. So
Yeah.
now, and another reason why I'm saying that it's still in that stage because we don't really have wala pa masyadong solid MMA program. Wala
Okay.
pa rin, well, we don't really have a full MMA scale gym.
Okay.
When you say an MMA scale gym, it's your one-stop shop. Like
Oh.
your ATTs, your AKAs, your ano pa ba, yung mga big, yung, like your Jackson Wink, yan. These are like the one-stop shops. You go to that gym, you have your striking, your grappling, your wrestling, your strength and conditioning.
So
Wala pa
sorry kasi
tayong,
nakita ko kasi sa iba-ibang malls na merong UFC gym. Is that
yeah, UFC gym is a lifestyle gym.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay.
so you go there and then you train in their strength and conditioning and
Okay.
they have a strength and conditioning program, a boxing program, a grappling program,
Yeah.
'di ba? Pero it's a gym,
Okay. Okay.
'di
Okay.
ba? It's a gym. Yeah, and ito rin 'yon. Nandun na tayo sa yes, may UFC gym.
Mhm.
Meron na ba wala pa silang napoproduce na full-fledged na
The fighter.
homegrown na fighter, 'di ba? Yung mga nagtuturo doon, mga fighters na talaga ever since, 'di ba? So ano 'yan? I really hope that we get to a point wherein meron na tayong facility na ganun
Yeah.
and pero syempre it's gonna take a lot of money and it's gonna take some time for it to develop kasi these things take time to build.
Yeah.
Diba? You have to have someone who will invest in it and then you have to have the right people who will run it
Mhm.
and you must have the right people who are willing to sacrifice and like probably take the big leap of like dropping everything and becoming a full-time MMA fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like top of my head, Jackson Wink in Albuquerque, the American Top Team Gym, tsaka yan, AKA. Yeah,
Mhm.
marami silang pool of MMA fighters
I
na
see.
yun yung full-time MMA fighters.
Oo. Oo. Yung mga how is the MMA scene ulit. I know that dito sa Manila, well, everything's in this here. I mean, in terms of
Mm.
fighting and all. Pero kamusta
Mm.
yung sa ibang mga provinces? How is MMA there?
Bro, just like basketball, there are so many talent na meron sa probinsya, hindi pa lang nadidiscover.
Yeah.
Another thing about the URCC is Universal Reality Combat Championships. It's the first MMA promotions in the Philippines. And I think it is the first one in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
When they hold provincial events,
Mhm.
so I was able to do Bacolod, Cebu, Davao.
Okay.
Doon mo makikita there's talent in those there's talent in the provinces. Now, ang wala sa probinsya is the right amount of training partners
Yeah.
and the level of instruction that is available here in Manila.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yun lang
Yeah.
yung difference. That's it. Pero like puso, tapang, tsaka lakas,
Kita
marami
mo
sa
nandun,
probinsya.
nandun talaga.
Marami sa probinsya.
Si
There have
MMA,
been
sige,
mm,
go. Go.
marami namang like for example, in my experience, I've seen a lot of really good matches in the provinces. It's just that I have to be, I mean, in all honesty, the quality is there. It's just
Mhm.
that yun nga, they don't have access to good instruction.
Yeah.
They don't have access to, I think, sige, pwede kong ibigay ng konti yung instruction, pero level of training
Training
partners,
partners.
yan,
Oo.
hirap din.
So,
Hirap din
hindi
eh. It's
hindi ka
hard.
makaka-level
Kaya,
up kung ganito lang
yep,
din yung training partners
yep.
mo, ano?
Tsaka dito
Okay.
sa Pilipinas, siguro I could just count in my fingers sino talaga yung marunong mag-MMA na coach eh. Like, konti lang.
Mhm.
Like, syempre, bahala yung mga tao. They have their own opinion. Pero ako,
Yeah.
in my experience and expertise, there are only a few people who can really teach MMA. Kasi ito yun eh. If you're an MMA coach,
Yeah.
it's your ability to put everything together.
Mhm.
And then, bukod sa putting everything together, it's your ability to pass on, okay, your ability to convey a message to your fighter and make that fighter execute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mahirap yun.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
the hardest part of MMA coaching.
Uh-huh.
So you have to think of the sequences, like how are you going to connect this series of punches and kicks to get to a clinch,
Uh-uh.
get the guy down, and then afterwards, what are you going to do when the fight hits the ground?
Yeah.
So now that is how your mental capacities are going to execute another one. Are you going to keep the fight standing? Are you going to keep the fight on the ground?
Mhm.
Are you going to clinch? Are you going to press against the cage? I mean, these are the intricate things of being an MMA coach. And in my honest opinion, there are like only a few people who can do that in this country.
Okay. Okay. Sige. Who are the top fighters here in the Philippines?
In the Philippines right now,
Yes.
these are very, very exciting people to watch. Meron dalawa, magkapatid pa to. Si
Oh,
Drex Zamboanga and Denise Zamboanga.
Denise is a...
These are
Okay, sige. Drex.
girl.
Okay.
So Drex Zamboanga and Denise Zamboanga. The Zamboanga siblings, these two are the future of MMA,
Okay.
in my
Something to
honest
watch out
opinion.
for.
Kasi ito yun eh, they're good strikers, but at the same time they're proficient with their wrestling, they're proficient with their grappling.
Okay.
Kumbaga, they're good at the two major aspects of MMA. Another one is June Montilla.
Okay.
June Montilla is really good. He's compact, he's strong, he's quick, he's fast. Another character, his name is Carlo Laurel. Um, who else? Sino ba mga pansin? Sorry, I'm so bad with names kasi. I was like, medyo ako hindi magaling eh.
Okay
Sino
lang.
pa ba? Yeah, of course, Chris Hoffman. Hoffman's my boy. Gotta
Ah,
put him in there. Uh, Fritz Biagtan. Fritz Biagtan used to just fight in kickboxing and in Muay Thai.
okay.
Then natuto siya then he learned jiu-jitsu. Now he's fighting in MMA.
MMA.
So
Okay.
imagine
Okay.
yung proficiency level ng tao yun.
Oo.
These are, and the best thing is like these are young people.
Mhm.
So they have a whole career ahead of them. Another
Mhm.
one, Jelly Bulaong.
Mhm.
Probably one of the more technical female fighters I've watched.
Okay.
Jelly Bulaong. Um, Another one, sino pa ba? Eto, this guy is really good, and he fights with only one eye. His name
Oh,
is JR Castillo.
JR Castillo. Mhm.
Mm.
How does he do that, man?
Dude, that guy can fight. Tsaka oh man, if you check Ariel Oliveros, Ariel Oliveros, LGBTQ pa yan.
Mhm. Mhm.
Galing niya. Really good. He strikes, he grapples, he wrestles, good cardio. Tapos ano pa? Ano bang ring name yan? The Beautiful Boxer pa ata rin.
Talaga, talaga.
Oh, bading yan. There are a lot more. Okay?
Oo.
So, if I miss
Top
out
of
on you, I'm
mind
so
to. Top of
sorry.
mind. Yeah,
Top
that's
of
okay.
mind.
Okay lang, okay lang.
Really good people. Amazing. Well-rounded, and at the same time, very coachable.
Mhm.
Laking factor yun eh, if you want to be a fighter. Very coachable.
Yeah.
So yan. Yan yung mga
Someone to
nakikita
something
ko
to
right now.
to watch out for. Lalo na sabi mo mga
Oo,
young
for
guns
sure.
tong mga to.
Oh,
Yeah.
super. I mean, and they're worth watching.
Mhm.
You know that when you attend the event, you pay the ticket price, you know that you will be educated on what a
Uh-huh.
martial artist is. You'll have a better appreciation of MMA
Yeah.
and the showmanship of these people. Yan. Kaya siguro naalala ko yung mga pangalan nila kasi they're really good. They're really good.
But during your time, sino-sino yung mga
Oh,
Big
dude,
names.
syempre the legends.
Yeah, syempre lagay natin yung
So you
legend.
have you have your Richard Lasprilla. Richard Lasprilla is the dancing devil. He
Okay.
another one is Kaloy Baduria. And then of course ito yun the main reason why MMA blew up in this country is because of the epic rivalry between Richard Lasprilla and Erwin Tagle.
Okay.
I mean, you cannot mention Philippine MMA without mentioning those two
Two
names.
names. Okay.
Okay, Richard Lasprilla and Erwin Tagle. They fought twice,
Mm-hmm.
and both matches ended in a draw
Oh, okay.
because they canceled out each other.
Oo.
And the rule set during their times, kasi si URCC dati, there are walang judges decision.
Oh, okay.
So if no one taps or no one gets submitted or nobody's knocked out after the second round,
Oo.
wala.
That's a
The
draw.
fight is automatically a draw. So
Oh,
now,
okay.
syempre, people will have their own interpretations of how the fight went,
Yeah.
who really won, and it definitely sparked interest in the sport. And then, more than anything, they both fought really well. It was
Mm-hmm.
a very entertaining fight. They displayed the skill sets of what an MMA fighter is and
Mm-hmm.
the potential of the sport in the country. They
Mm-hmm.
were ahead of their time basically.
Okay.
So that created legends for both of them. It was a sino pa ba? Ali Katibi is there. Uh, Hank Lazaro, Fritz Rodriguez, sino pa ba yung mga naabutan ko na ano? Carl Sabeniano, Gerson Estoro. I mean, these are the people that laid down the foundation for the modern MMA
Many.
landscape. And these are entertaining fighters. As in, they would always go for the finish. They will
Yeah.
always go for the knockout. Yeah, these are people who are very interesting to watch.
Okay. URCC lang ba ang current league ngayon for MMA dito sa Philippines?
Dito sa Philippines, professionally, there's the URCC, pero in
Okay.
the amateur circuits, there are a lot of
Marami naman. Oh,
MMA
okay.
amateur
Okay.
promotions. And that's good. I'm happy with that kasi with every event that these people mount is an opportunity for the MMA fighters to like get
Yeah,
experience,
level up.
get enough cage time,
Yeah.
'di ba? And syempre yung audience makikilala sila,
Yeah.
'di ba? Mabibuild
Exposure.
nila yung fan base nila, exposure, awareness.
Yeah.
So, ayun din. MMA referee ako. So, kaya alam ko yung mga ganyang bagay kasi MMA referee ako. So, ayun. So, the reason why I have such a high scope and probably a good reach of the MMA community is because yan nga, whoever mounts an event,
Yeah.
kailangan nila ng MMA referee, nandun ako.
Oo. Just call you. Sige. I'll be asking a few questions. Top of mind answers lang, Franco.
Go.
Number 1, biggest achievement of your career
When my
as a fighter.
as
As a fighter.
as a fight, wala, ang dami nila eh. Probably, 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 dude, I've competed in probably all of the tournaments that was available in the calendar for a very long time.
Okay.
To sum those experiences, 'di ba? I cannot depict a moment na I'll single this one achievement out
Okay.
kasi this is the best. No, to answer your question, I think it's the feeling of being able to rise up to the occasion.
Okay.
It's having the courage and not letting your fear or your yun nga, it's not letting the fear get the best of you, rising up
Yeah.
to the occasion and
Yeah.
registering for that tournament, preparing for that tournament, and actually fighting in that tournament.
Okay.
Kasi a lot of people a lot of people will always say na they can do better or if they were in that position they would do this.
Yeah.
Edi pag sinabi mo naman na o di ikaw gawin mo,
Oo.
hindi nila gagawin. So I think and I've always believed then the achievements or the medals that you win
Mm.
in any of the tournaments that you join are just cherry on the topic.
Mm-hmm.
Kumbaga, what you really cherish is the process and the
The
experiences
experience.
you
Yeah.
gain
True.
through by preparing for them. So ako yun.
In terms of
I can't
coaching.
really in terms of coaching, the biggest achievement that could I am very proud of is seeing my students win.
Okay.
Yun eh. Parang I thought I was happy. I thought I was happy just winning, na ako yung nananalo. Mas masarap yung feeling na makita kong nananalo yung mga estudyante ko.
I see.
Kasi iba na yun eh. You are part of their journey, and then
Mm-hmm.
they come back to you and thank you and tell you that they never thought they could do these things, pero you helped them make it happen.
Yeah.
That was really good. That felt really good. Ako
Mm-hmm.
mas gusto ko nga yun eh. I mas
Uh,
gusto ko yung experience na yun.
do you have well, lowest point in your career?
Lowest point in my career was probably 2000, kailan ba yun? 2015.
Mm-hmm.
2014 or 15. I got injured.
Ah,
So
okay.
if you get to meet me in person, you'll see I have a scar underneath here.
Uh-huh.
So this happened during the finals of a tournament, of an
Okay.
international tournament. Me and my opponent went for the same move. It just so happens na nakaharap yung mukha ko and his head was down, so the
Yeah.
top of his head hit my face. So it broke my orbital bone here in four
Oh,
different places.
I
So I
see.
have a metal plate here. Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay,
then
okay.
during surgery, doctor opened me up. Then they realized that half of my skull here was broken inside. So,
Okay.
tinanggal nila yung mga buto. They washed it, puzzled it back in, and then they put
Ito,
4 or 5 screws around
man.
here.
Grabe
So,
pala yan ah.
that was something that I could bear. The pain I could bear. The lowest point came when most of the doctors that checked me told me I couldn't do this anymore.
Oh, okay, okay.
Diba? They told me you can't do martial arts anymore. You can't compete. You can't even train.
Yeah,
Diba? That
yeah,
was the
yeah.
lowest point. That
I see.
that really tested my resolve about
Mm-hmm.
things.
Okay.
So and then the recovery process of getting back to the things of getting back into shape,
Yeah,
getting back into the mental state of being there and being present. And I mean, I went through it as
yeah.
in without siguro when people na-depress ka ba nung time na yun, sabi ko probably, pero siguro nilabanan ko lang din kasi I had a
Mm-hmm.
very good support system. I have a
Mm-hmm.
very supportive family. I have a very supportive team.
Mm-hmm.
And they really, I mean, I really say this a lot na parang I wouldn't have survived those years if they weren't there.
Yeah, yeah,
Diba? I had my family, I had my girlfriend, I had my teammates. Those were like the pillars of
yeah,
emotion that I leaned on. During the time that everyone was leaning on me, when it was my time to lean on them, talagang they really supported me.
yeah.
Kasi if you're talking about the lowest of lows, dude, that was the lowest. I felt useless. I was
Mm-hmm.
depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Alam mo yun, if there was ever a time that I really doubted myself, it was that time.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi you're on pain meds. You can't stand up. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
open your eye. When I had to go down the stairs, I had to sit down on the stairs and crawl
Mm-hmm.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Ganun
Ganun
siya.
kagrabe. Oh,
Ganun
wow.
siya. And then that was the first half. The second half was the actual recovery process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So basically, nag-reset yung katawan ko. I had to regain the strength. I had to regain the mobility. I had to regain the flexibility. I had to regain the agility and the speed and the strength
Yeah.
and the skill sets that I needed. So yun. Parang compensationary yabang ko na lang or swag ko na lang yun sa doktor ko noon eh. Parang sabi niya, I had a very good doctor. I had a very good surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
Si Doc Teddy Carvajal. He did a really good job with me. Sinabi rin naman niya, kilala kita, alam kong pasaway ka. So, sabi niya, if you want to do this again, so you want to do this again, give it 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sabi niya, give it 2 years. So basically, this is like, give it 2 years to heal and then recover. And then that's probably the time you can do rehab. Siguro
Mm-hmm.
ako bilang the pasaway guy and
Yeah.
sabi ko lang, Doc, watch me. I'm gonna do it in 1 year. Do it in 1 year.
And
And,
you did.
di ba, huh?
And you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Siguro mga 1 year and like 3 months. Yeah.
Uh,
So yun, I put in the work. I sucked it all up. Uh, after a year plus, yun, I
Mm.
competed again. I
Nice, nice,
competed
nice.
again.
At least nakabalik ka, no?
Oh,
Very good.
oh, I knew that I couldn't rely on anybody else but myself.
Mhm, mhm.
Kasi everyone around me can just say that they will support me. They will say validation statements. Pero I still had to undergo the process, and I
Yes, yes.
understood that there's nobody who's gonna do it for me. I
Yes.
had to do it for myself.
Mhm.
So yun, I'm
Tama,
very
tama.
happy rin na na nilampasan ko siya. Like
Mhm,
I've seen people kasi go into that place and they just dug deeper holes, and
mhm.
then they would blame other people for their demise. And I told myself I'll never be that guy. I'll never be that person.
Yeah.
Diba? If I fuck up, it's on me.
Mhm.
It's not because I got injured. It's not
Yeah.
because I had surgery. It's not because I was taking pain meds. It wasn't because, diba? It wasn't because my body couldn't respond anymore.
Yeah.
Wala lang. Probably because, yun hindi. Feeling ko malaking factor yung pasaway kasi ako.
Oo.
Na,
No, but you really had a very good support system. But at the same time, yun nga,
mm.
pasaway ka. Ang ganda nung combination yun, no?
Medyo magandang combination.
Oo, di
Magandang
ba?
combination siya. Magandang combination.
Who's your favorite MMA fighter all time?
All time. Oh my God, parang hirap. Alam mo, hirap mo. Yun mo, may hirap yung tanong eh.
Top
Ito
3.
yun.
Top 3, oh. Sige, top 3.
In MMA. Okay, sige. Let's go in MMA muna. So, let's go MMA, then I'll answer MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. So,
Okay,
for
go.
MMA, George St. Pierre.
Okay, GSP.
George St. Pierre is, when he was starting with his career, fan niya na ako. Hindi pa siya sikat, fan na ako ni George St. Pierre. Kasi
Mm,
nakita ko, for me kasi when I watched him and the way he was breaking down training, I go like, that is real MMA training.
mhm, mhm.
So because that's what an MMA fighter should be. Hindi pa siya sikat nun ah.
Yeah.
So there's George St. Pierre, and ito lang din yon. George St. Pierre is not a specialist of anything, but he was very good at everything.
Everything. Okay, okay.
Okay? So George St. Pierre. Next one is Fedor Emelianenko. Okay? Fedor Emelianenko is a heavyweight. Pag nakita mo siya, dad bod na dad bod.
Okay.
So, pero he was knocking people out. He was submitting people. He was fast. He was quick. He was strong.
Okay.
So, doon ko talaga pinakita na hindi mo kailangan ng abs para maging fighter.
Okay.
Pero
Okay.
he was very proficient. He had good mental resolve. He didn't back down from anybody.
Okay.
So that's Fedor Emelianenko. And then the last one, top 3. Oh my God, nahihirap ng list. Top 3 ah. Pero ito yung mga idol ko eh.
Sige.
So there's GSP, there's si Fedor, and then it's a toss-up talaga. It's a toss-up between two wrestlers. So it's Randy Couture and Matt Hughes.
Okay.
So ano yan, I couldn't decide. Pero the
Okay.
reason why I chose them is because they weren't physically gifted, but they had a very, very high work ethic. I'll
Okay.
be the first to admit na during the times that I fought, I
Mhm.
was not I'm not talented. I'm not a freak of nature. I am not athletic. Alam mo yun, hindi ako, hindi ako gifted ng kahit ano. Pero that's one thing that I developed through years of training. If I cannot out talent you, I will outwork
Outwork.
you.
Okay.
I'm gonna outwork you. I'm gonna make you quit by sheer grinding.
Mhm.
Diba? So that's what Randy Couture and Matt Hughes did. They always emphasized on their work ethic, and that brought them to greatness.
Yeah.
As in, even they would tell you na they're not doing anything special. They're just doing the work. They're just putting in the work,
Yeah.
and they know that if they cannot, yun, parang kay Matthews ko ata narinig yun eh. If I cannot out-talent you or out-fight you because if you're more talented than me, you're not gonna outwork me.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
think that's a mantra that I carry with me until this day.
Mhm.
Na if I cannot outsmart you, or this is probably a compensationary thing, pero I'll definitely outwork you. So
Okay.
sa jiu-jitsu naman, of course, number one is Marcelo Garcia.
Mhm.
His name is Marcelo Garcia. He's a Brazilian. The reason why he's the reason why I took jiu-jitsu,
Mm-hmm.
because he was very small. He's this small, compact guy, but he kept submitting guys who were bigger than him. Then you go
Okay.
like, what the hell is this guy doing? It's like, what's putting people to sleep? So that's one. Next one is Rodolfo Vieira.
Mm-hmm.
Rodolfo Vieira kasi he just outpaces and outworks everyone. So
Mm-hmm.
again, it goes back to something that I hold dear to me. It's the work ethic. Yeah, so he's strong, he's fast, and he just outpaces and outworks everyone. Then the third one is Leo Vera. Leo Vera is one of the heads of Checkmat. That's the name of the team, Checkmat.
Checkmat.
Ano siya eh? Oh, Checkmat. So
Okay.
sa kanya ko narinig yung quote na I don't know kung sino, dapat nga i-research ko sometime, minsan
Sige,
yung kung
sige.
sino nagsabi nun. Pero sa kanya ko narinig yun eh, parang hard work beats talent when talent refuses to
Mm-hmm.
work hard.
Mm-hmm.
So yun, sa kanya ko he was the first person I heard, or the first jiu-jitsu guy that used that quote, and it
Okay.
resonated to me in a very deep sense. Kasi
Okay.
yun nga eh, di ba? So yeah, lagi yan, nasa ano ko yan. Kasi in my very first jiu-jitsu notebook, I put it there. I wrote it. Parang hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard.
Would you rather do stand up or on the ground?
Okay, I love to grapple, pero striker by base talaga ako eh.
Okay. Okay.
So I started so if I were to fight in an MMA fight,
Yes,
then
yes.
this is what I did din naman when I fought MMA. I always
Stand.
preferred standing.
Okay. Okay.
Ang weird eh. Ang sarap ng feeling pag sinuntok ka tapos bumagsak eh.
Which
Alam mo yun?
yung next question ko is submission or knockout eh. So I'm guessing ang sagot.
Okay. Hindi, I'll take any. I'll take
I'll take
any.
any.
Pero like I never thought na parang ano yung feeling na pag sinuntok mo bumagsak yung kalaban mo. Then it happened in a Muay Thai fight. Parang pag sapa ko siguro it was a good, kaya rin doon ko na realize na it's not it's not just one punch. It's
Mhm.
how you time it.
Yeah.
It's the execution.
Mhm,
Kasi I
mhm.
never felt na alam yung binigay ko talaga doon sa suntok na yan.
Oh.
It was that last punch of a combination that I've been doing for the longest time. It
Mhm.
just so happens na it connected at the right place at the right time, and then bumagsak yung
No.
tao.
Oo.
So I'm like, okay, ganun pala yun. So, ayun.
Sige.
Of course,
Ah,
when you submit someone, it's always, di ba? Of course, when you submit someone, masaya pa rin yun.
oo.
Kasi when you knock out people, they can always say na, this is the thing that makes submissions a very beautiful thing when it comes to fighting. When you knock out someone, after the knockout, that person can just say, I was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm,
Diba? Or it was a lucky punch. But
oo.
when you submit someone,
Oo.
you are seeing something, diba, that is clear cut, and diba, walang lusot doon,
Oo,
diba? Wala
malulusot,
kang pwedeng ulusot na sinuwerte
no
siya doon kasi
excuses.
that person set it up, that
Yeah.
person executed, and you tapped.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
tap was
Yes.
clear, so nahuli ka.
Would you rather fight in an octagon, on a round ring, or on a square ring?
I'd rather fight in a cage.
Oh, cage. Okay,
Kasi
cage.
it's cage, so it's either your circular cage or your
Or the
octagon.
octagon. Okay,
Number
okay.
one, because it's safer.
It's
Because it's
safer.
safer. It's
Bakit
safer.
safer?
Kasi,
Sorry.
hindi kasi if you fight inside the ring and you go for the clinch, syempre, yung ropes, it's not really gonna, it's
Ah.
not that secure. It's not that
Okay.
secure. During
Gets,
the
gets.
URC, when the URCC started, they used the ring.
Yeah.
And since merong spaces dun sa ring, di ba?
Yes.
So lulusot yung mga tao
Lusot.
dun minsan. Kaya
Ah.
merong ring control si URCC noon.
Okay.
Then when it became a cage, it was a lot safer for the fighters.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
another reason why I like to fight in a cage is because I can use the cage. I can use
Okay.
the cage against my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yun. So it's basically having a tool to help you win the fight. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna help you. So now your strategy and your game plan will be will be like a part of your game plan can be hinged on using the cage or utilizing the cage. And there are a
Okay.
lot of high level MMA fighters that use that.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so for your audience, and yeah, if you want a good, example, uh, modern day fighter, si Khabib.
Oh,
Are you
Khabib.
familiar
Oh.
with Khabib?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you watch his fights, he will always use the cage.
Cage.
So he will punch, set up his takedown, and he will prefer to push his opponent against the cage.
Cage. Okay.
Mapapansin mo lahat ng kalaban niya, tinulak niya papunta sa
To the
cage.
cage. Mm-hmm.
So yun yung mapapansin mo. So susunod manonood ka ng Khabib fight,
Khabib.
dadali niya kaya sa cage to. Mapapansin mo, he's gonna push the guy towards the cage. He
Okay.
utilizes the cage a lot.
What goes on in Coach Franco's mind an hour before a fight? As a coach, ah.
Okay. As a coach, it's a lot of anxiety.
A lot of anxiety.
Anxiety,
Okay.
a lot of nervousness. Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, mas ninenervyos ako pag lumalaban yung estudyante ko kaysa pag ako yung lumalaban.
Okay, okay.
Kasi, because now, if I'm going in there, di ba, I'm just there for myself. Now,
Yeah.
I'm like physically, mentally, and emotionally responsible for another
Yeah.
human
Okay.
being who's gonna
Yes.
go there.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so yun yung ano ko. So now, my job as a coach is to keep my fighter calm.
Mm.
I have to I have to keep my fighter calm. I have to be collected, and I have to be composed so that that energy is transferred to my fighter. If the fighter sees na kinakabahan yung coach niya,
Oh.
edi
Siya
kakabahan din
rin.
siya.
Oo. Oo.
Pero pag nakita niyang, pero if the fighter sees that his coaches are calm,
Yeah.
collected, confident,
Yeah.
it's gonna rub off on them.
Oo.
And then normally what I do is when we get there, we familiarize ourselves with the venue, we acclimate in the venue, we do our best to look for the essentials like saan ba ang dressing room, saan ba ang banyo, saan ba ang
Okay.
bilihan ng, like, this probably goes for both MMA and Jiu-Jitsu tournaments.
Uh,
Where are the essential stores? Where can we get food, water, and then once we're in the dugout or in the bullpen, it's all about shutting down the noise. When you say
okay.
shutting down the noise, it's making the, kasi if you're a competitor and or you're a fighter, you go to the venue, ang ingay niyan, ang
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
ingay, and then you'll see a lot of people walking around, especially international tournaments. You pagpasok mo pa lang ng venue, minamata ka na ng mga kalaban mo doon.
Oo.
So
Oo.
now it's your job as a coach to keep your fighters in check and
Mhm.
make sure that they're focused.
Mhm.
And then aside from maintaining the focus, you also have to balance out that they have to be relaxed so that they
Okay.
don't get too anxious and adrenaline's like pumping through their veins. You want to make sure that they have enough energy and adrenaline for the actual fight.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yun. So those are the things that I do and goes through my head whenever I'm coaching.
Okay. Sige. Uh last question. Where do you
Mm.
see MMA and Jiu-Jitsu 5 years from now?
Oh
Let's
man, I hope
ano,
I hope way
walang
way
COVID
better.
Walang COVID I
Uh
mean, let's take out the COVID factor.
I hope at a high level we're in. There are a lot of black belts. There are a lot of MMA fighters, and we're competing at the world stage,
Okay.
and we're winning. Di pala competing. I don't want to say competing. We're winning at the world stage. Yung
Winning in
tipong there's a full-grown Filipino from the Philippines, from the
uh
Philippines that's in the UFC, in IFL, in Bellator, alam mo yun, yung
mm,
the big leagues kumbaga. And
yeah.
then there are other big leagues now in the Middle East, di ba? We
Mhm.
could definitely send a lot of them there.
Okay.
So ayun. 5 years is very short, to be honest. Five
Okay.
years is very short, but in 5 years, I really hope that we could develop the program and grow the community. Lahat naman yan magde-develop once the community is grown.
Okay.
That's for MMA. I think for Jiu-Jitsu, more black belts. Kasi ito
Okay.
lang yun, we're a population of 104, 105 million people.
Yes.
Sa buong Pilipinas, less than 50 lang ang black belts sa Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh. Less
Kasi
than
mahirap.
50. 50 as in
Oh,
okay.
kasi mahirap siya matutunan.
Oo.
it's gonna test your resolve. It's gonna test you physically, emotionally, mentally, emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a test of character more than anything. The lessons are easy to learn. You will learn them as long as you put in the work and you put in the hours.
Okay.
It's it's how kasi jiu-jitsu is ego management. Jiu-jitsu is all about acknowledging your limitations and your weaknesses. And
Mm-hmm.
then once you quash that and you smash that wall,
Mm-hmm.
learning becomes a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Marami nagbe-break kasi marami nagko-quit kasi wala, ego,
Mm-hmm.
tsaka pride nila, tsaka
Mm-hmm.
na-hurt yung pagkalalaki nila.
Oo,
So,
oo.
ayun. I mean, that's the thing. Okay? Just look at that statistic. When you go to
Mm-hmm.
Brazil, you go to Australia, you go to the United States, di ba? I mean, the scene has grown. There was a time that there was no black belt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when jiu-jitsu started in the Philippines in the 90s, there was no black belt.
Mm-hmm.
The first Filipino black belt was Alvin Aguilar.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yun, he started the movement.
Mm-hmm.
He's continuing the journey. He's continuing spreading jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
I am very fortunate enough to be a student of Alvin Aguilar, and I'm very fortunate and happy to be part of DefTech Philippines kasi ayun, nag-grow yung team, nag-grow yung student base, and Bremo that's a good jump. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
jump. From zero,
Yeah.
kasi basta I did a count before.
Mm-hmm.
Sabi ko, ilan na nga bang black belt sa Philippines? Sabihin lang ko. Lahat ng mga naiisip ko na, kasi maliit lang ang black belt community eh. Sabi ko, oh my God, parang hindi pa ako umabot ng 50. Sabi ko, so parang that was a good ano for me. Sabi ko, there are people who want to be the baddest guy in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Alam mo yun, there will be coaches who are like that. Ako, there are, again, so let's structure it. There are people na when they go to the gym or when they enter a gym, they want to be the only black belt there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ako, I want to go inside my gym na marami kaming black belt doon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Diba?
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between those two scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, when I looking at it that way, and I was indoctrinated in a system wherein your job is to make others better. Kaya ako, my students ask me, what's your goal? My job
Mm-hmm.
is to make you better than me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? I don't want to be the only black belt in the room. My job is when I go here, I want everyone here to be wearing a black belt.
Mm-hmm.
Ganun
Mm-hmm.
siya. Kasi ang lungkot eh.
Oo. Oo.
Sabi ko, parang 50 lang tayo. Parang lungkot na na. Parang, di ba? So it's just a matter of, just keeping at it. Like growing the community, like sharing what you know, and ayun. It seems like, so far, it's working. Kasi, ngayon, nakikita ko, people are, I mean, especially when it comes to the self-defense and self-protection aspect,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are questioning. Nakakatuwa lang din. Kaya rin naglagay. Yung lahat ng nandun sa Coach Franco breakdowns nung YouTube channel
Yeah.
ko,
Yeah.
lahat ng mga videos niya sinubmit sa akin. So, doon mo makikita yung mga tao, Coach, totoo ba to? Coach, totoo ba to? Coach, totoo ba to? Kasi at least yun, na medyo na-filter out na ng mga tao kung ano yung totoo, ano
Totoo.
yung hindi.
Oo. Ano yung totoo? Going back to what you said na parang mas gusto mo mas maraming yung buong class mo is are black belters, no? There's a quote by Confucius dati, sabi niya, if you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. So mahirap
Yeah.
talaga, 'di ba? Kasi parang ang hirap din na ikaw lang yung black belt. So parang
Oh,
walang continuous learning kumbaga,
exactly.
'di ba?
Exactly. Yun. Kasi sabi ko, if people ask me like yung mga martial arts na martial arts websites or blogs that ask me like, how do you learn now that you're a black belt? Sabi ko, syempre, I still learn from my fellow black belts, and at the same time, I make my students better every day so that when they get their black belts, they're gonna help make me better.
Mhm.
Yun. And the process continues and the process evolves.
Yes.
And every day that I go to class and I go teach, and as much as I teach my students and then I watch them perform, or I watch them spar, I watch them compete, I see small pockets of knowledge that we can expound on.
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
There's no absolute technique.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything has a counter.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has a counter. Lahat. So
Nice, nice.
wala pa siyang wala pa siyang end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's very addicting. That's why it's
Yeah.
very addicting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As a parting shot, what would you tell a person who is interested in taking up MMA?
Um, Number one is gonna be hard. Yeah, so you have to. There's no. You're gonna enter the hurt business,
Mm-hmm.
so expect to get hurt. Okay. Next one is the process is gonna be worth it.
Okay.
I guarantee you, if there's one thing that's worth it in this world or in this industry, it's the process. It's the learning. It's the love that your coaches will give you. It's the support and the family that your teammates will provide you. And a lot of the things that you will learn in the gym, you can and will apply in real life.
Okay. Okay.
And uh, and the third one would probably be you're not gonna last in this industry if you're full of ego, if you're a person who's driven by pride, or you're doing this for the wrong reasons, hindi kayo magtatagal talaga.
Okay.
Yun yun. Training will always find a way to filter people out.
Nice, nice. Words of wisdom from Coach Franco himself. Yeah.
Words based on experience.
Based on experience. Ano
Based on
to? Ano
experience.
to? Tried and tested to, mga kaibigan.
Oo. Oo. Yun na
Anyway,
lang din.
ayun. I guess that's it, no? Very, very
Mm.
thankful that you guested in
No,
our show. Sobrang dami nating napulot. As in, ako
no,
personally, ang
thank you
dami
for
kong...
having me here, man. Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
thank
It's
you.
such a pleasure to be your guest here on your
Yes,
podcast.
yes. Thank you so much. If people would want to learn more about MMA or would like to get in touch with you to learn MMA, where can they go? How can they find you?
Okay, so just I have an athlete page. It's you just look for it on Facebook. Just type in Coach Franco Rulloda. So that's basically Coach and my name.
Okay.
And then all other social media outlets, Instagram, it's at Franco Rulloda, FrancoRulloda.
Okay.
So those are the platforms that I just put content about martial arts, what is jiu-jitsu, what is MMA,
Mm-hmm.
uh, any other combat sports that I dive into. And then of course there's my podcast and my YouTube channel wherein I do my best to break down a lot of fights, a lot of stupid videos, and then on my and then on my podcast, I talk to interesting people, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
smart people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
and so lahat yon is all for the benefit whoever's gonna watch and listen to it. Kasi
Yeah.
ako naman I want to provide as much value to my audience and to my
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
And ito lang din yun eh. Great minds think
Think
alike.
alike.
Kaya tamo
Yes.
ngayon, guest ako sa podcast ni
Yes.
MRs.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Diba? Diba? This is one of the, and admittedly, this is like one of the Philippine podcasts that I listen to. Like, for example, okay, wala akong masyado gagawin. I'm gonna listen to his podcast.
Yeah.
Say it's entertaining, and then you get
Nice.
you get a lot of knowledge nuggets from this show. So I'm
Nice.
very
Nice.
happy that I'm part of this now.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Mm.
Franco. And ito, sabi ko lang, one of the things that I really wanted to do is to uplift the sports community, not just basketball. Kasi alam mo naman tayo, mahilig tayo sa basketball, di ba?
Wala namang
Wala,
masama na mahalin mo
exactly.
yung basketball,
Oo.
pero
Oo. Ang dami.
ang daming
Yeah.
sports na magaling ang Pilipino.
Yes,
I'm very
yes.
happy that volleyball is there. So
Yes.
now, kailangan na lang
Yeah.
nating gawin siya for other sports. And that's
Yes.
probably the reason why I had more time this quarantine time, and I dedicated that time to uh improving the podcast, improving my YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
then pumping out content on my social media accounts. And then,
Yes.
yun din, sa pagmamahal ko sa sports, nag-broadcasting school ako under yan.
Wow.
Shout out
Shout out.
to my mentors there, si Sir Noel Zarate, Sir Mienta, and Kinito Henson.
Oh, yes.
So, di ba? Then lahat to kasi parang I work with during URCC events, I work with this really handsome and amazing uh, host, si Sir Boyet Season.
Mhm.
So he's ano siya ng anchor siya ng ABS-CBN sa DZMM.
Yes, yes.
And then he talked to me. He talked about AM radio and broadcasting and
Mhm.
telling stories of athletes, telling stories. Okay, so parang ako, okay. Siyempre, ako naman. Pag pinapanood ko yung mga coverage ng mga combat sports, I'm like, mali yung term.
May
Mali yung explanation. Mali yung... Okay. So, siyempre, ikaw naman, trabaho nila yan. Again.
Yes, yes.
And all of a sudden, ayun, just a door open. I'm like, may broadcast. Ikaw pwede ka dun. May nagsabi lang sa akin sa TV5. Ikaw pwede ka dun. Again. Then that led to that school by, again, Sir Noel Zarate. So
Nice.
Noel Zarate is one of the veterans of Philippine sports
Yes.
and media broadcasting. So, wala. I like, tinuruan niya, binugbog niya kami. Yung batch namin, bugbog. As in, bugbog. Pero I came out of that experience and that seminar or learning kung anong tawag nila doon, like a lot better in terms of conveying the message. So now I use that with what I do, from podcasting to breaking down sports videos. They helped a lot. Helped a lot.
And all for the betterment of sports and its exposure, no?
Oo naman.
Yeah.
Oo naman.
Alright.
Mabuti naman sinabi mo, at least hindi lang basketball, kasi sabi ko, puta, baka may basketball na nun.
Hindi.
I love basketball. I
Ako
grew up
rin.
playing and loving basketball, pero sana po marami po tayong ibang sports na magaling ang mga Pilipino. Ang
Correct.
dami.
I believe you.
Dami.
I believe.
Kailangan lang nila ng exposure.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Coach Franco. Remember.
Thank you, sir.
Remember to follow his social media pages and all of that. So this is MR Villar signing off for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Sidelines PH podcast. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.